Is this thing on?
Picking your audio up still. You
It does
crazy
that weird glitchy.
red rum.
It does some weird glitchy start, and I'm like, is it working? Is it working, StreamYard? But who knows? It looks like it's working. We're here. We've made it. There's three of us. We're all here. All three of us are here. Hello, Joe. How are you? Always faithful. How are you, Joe? Now, Luke.
Yes.
My love.
Yes.
It's nearly the end of your American Odyssey. How are you feeling?
Look, I fly back in, I think, 4 days. Like, I think, I worked out it's like 4 days left of really being here. I've got a lot that I've got to do when I get home, so I'm sort of not wanting to deal with that yet, but it's going to happen. So there's that. And I've also got a sore tooth right now. My wisdom tooth has decided that it suddenly wants to be known and is causing a lot of complications. And so it's been a little bit of fun trying to battle that while I'm away from home as well. So as soon as I get back, I'm dealing with that issue as well. It's lots of fun. But that's why, like, I'm not puffy from all the Christmas food. I think I'm puffy from a bit of swelling. Although I've been eating terrible eating.
Did you have a white Christmas? Did you enjoy it?
You're supposed to eat junk food.
Oh yeah, it's snowing again now. Hey Vera, like it's coming down heavy.
Again? Shit, I can't see it.
Yeah, no, I took the kids out yesterday into the snow, and even with gloves and stuff on, I was getting like frostbite me, and I said I can't do this, and like I don't think you children should be out here either. But they told me to go away, or they'll be okay. And, you know, I just let them go.
Well, hey,
Happy
New Year.
But no, it's been very like cold outside, and I'm sort of over the novelty of that now. I'm just like, I'm happy to watch through the glass.
They called school today because of the wind chill.
Oh,
there we go.
Because it was in the 20s today, but there was so much wind and it made it like -10.
Yeah, I saw there was like some weather update or something on the Alexa in the kitchen. And
that Alexa in the kitchen is so mouthy. She's got no attitude
one
on
in
that
here
one.
too. I just remembered, so I better not say their name again.
There's one into it. Jeff's house is wired for sound. There's one in every room.
Apple weather, Google weather, they've all been fakaked. I have not got a decent. Yesterday, before I left work, I checked the weather report. It said no snow till after midnight. I walked out in freaking blizzard. Just coming down everywhere.
Safet's bringing up a very good point. Before we even get started, we would obviously like to send our well wishes, hopes, dreams, all that good energy to the people that are in Los Angeles at the moment. I think the most important thing to realize, it is not just celebrities that are losing their homes, their livelihoods, their places, their schools, their places of worship, everything they've ever owned. These are everyday people as well that just happen to live in Hollywood. And
there are people who clean the pools. There are people who do the gardening. There are people who do the cooking. The celebrities have staff. All these staff are regular people, and a lot of them work without insurance.
Especially with these houses gone, there's no jobs.
There's no jobs.
I saw Melanie Kinnaman, who we interviewed on here, Steve, because she lives in the hills, and she had to be evacuated. But last I saw, she had updated her status and said that her area that the fire service was able to maintain.
I think we can really relate. I think. Well, I knowing that we've been through some Australian summers, and fire is
on the fires down south. Terrible.
A huge thing for Australia. We can definitely relate to it, and it's a horrible thing to know that there is nothing you can do to stop.
I have a lot of friends and family in that area, and my cousin works for the State Department of Corrections, and he leads a incarcerated fire team into forest fires. He has been on the front
Wow.
line of every major forest fire in California.
That's they're the people you got to think of as well. Like everyone's like, oh, it's just the celebrities. It's like there are people risking their lives, people's lives, and their
Well,
pets.
and
Like it's,
when disasters like this happen, it always reaffirms my faith in humanity. There's a squad of Navajo firefighters working with the LA Fire Department. There's firefighters from Mexico crossing the border to assist with these fires. There's firefighters from Nevada, Washington, Oregon, all over the country going there on their own, risking their lives to help this firefighter.
There were some issues with like the hydrants not having enough water and things like that.
Yeah, they're running out of water.
You gotta stop listening to those fucking Republicans. Jesus. The problem is that the firefighters depend on residential water service. Even with recent upgrades, they're only meant to handle 5 to 10 house fires at a time. Because when you think of a metropolitan area, you don't think of the entire town catching fire
going up in flames.
Minutes. Right.
Yeah.
So that's why there's no water pressure. And then everybody's like, well, they got a whole ocean right there. It's like, you cannot use salt water to fight these fires. Salt water has an electrical charge. You are dumping salt water into fires, not knowing what charge they carry. And these are electrical fires. Once the house is engulfed, you can make it worse. Salt has an incredibly corrosive effect on fire equipment. It will affect the tubing. It will affect all of the fittings in the fire hoses. And salt destroys the environment. You throw enough salt water into farmland, you're never going to get a crop for 20 years. Yep. You can't use the ocean. They are reliant on fresh water. There's not as much fresh water in the reserves because there wasn't as much snowfall. The trees aren't holding as much water because there wasn't as much rainfall. So you've got dry trees, low water table, and a water pressure system that's not designed to handle 100 house fires at the same time.
Yeah, like when I was watching some footage yesterday, they were saying that the fire was moving at the speed of 5 football fields a minute.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying. But it's something that, as I said, it's something that we're used. Yeah.
Slightly less than 100 meters. If that means anything to you.
Yeah, and to see whole towns wiped out and stuff like that, we've had some horrendous fires in our lifetime, Luke, that have wiped out complete towns and stuff like that. So I think Australians definitely, can feel the sympathy for what's going on there. But
I mean, the reason this is, if you want to blame this fire on something, it's not about the water pressure. It's about global warming. It's about the fact that there's no water in the aquifers. There's no water on the top of the mountains. There's no water in the trees. All of these desert plants were meant to hold water, but even in the desert, there's not enough water to keep these trees alive. They're going, trees that would normally not burn are going up in a heartbreak.
I guess all you can do is, as I said, and it seems silly, but all you can do is, or do as much as you can if you're in a position to donate something. Otherwise, we always say hopes and prayers don't do anything, but if that's all you've got to give.
The minute there's a school shooting, there's a whole contingent of conservatives going, now is not the time to politicize it. But the minute a blue state's on fire, it's because the fire chief's a woman, and it's because they don't have enough water pressure, and it's all because they're California libtards. And don't politicize it.
A little bit of empathy goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because when those red states start lighting up,
shut mouths, Republicans.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we hope that everything calms down. It doesn't look like it, but
right.
This will be one of those once in a generation things, I think, that redefine the landscape of that place. 2 family members that are on
evacuation alert right now, and about half a dozen family members that are in the area.
She's tough.
Mm-hmm.
She's very tough. But our thoughts are with you if you're out there. We'll try and make you laugh a little bit today, I guess.
That's our goal.
So let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into this week.
Hot load of hot topics.
There we go. Nothing's going to make you feel better. It's Katrina. That's exactly it. Vera's diving into the hot load of hot topic. Well, look, there should be no drama, right, for water, because, you know, once you own the Gulf of America and stuff, you'll be okay. I mean,
Is this real?
He's not even president yet, and the sound bites are coming hard and strong.
Okay, no,
We're
wait.
going
So
to-
let's contextualize this. So I think I know the story. Is this him saying he wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America?
Yes.
Yes.
And did he really
And
say
Alex,
this?
he wants.
He did really
He said it
say
in a
this.
press
It's
conference.
a verifiable clip. You can look it up.
He
did
wants
say
to
it.
annex Greenland.
Yes,
You know,
and Canada.
and Canada.
Panama,
It's like
which doesn't even
Yeah.
touch us.
he's not even president yet, and this is all like the sound bites are coming hard and strong. It's like you're just doubling down on everything, aren't you, Donny? It's just like time to go, time to lead, time to clean. He's kicking off the whole thing quite early,
Well,
but
I'm
let's see
sure
if
it meant nothing to-
let's see if he makes it, because you know he is going to have to face sentencing for his hush money trial.
Yeah. Supreme Court
It will not,
intercede.
and it will not apparently have anything to do with jail time, which you know
No.
who knew.
Any
Who
sentencing
knew?
will have to be deferred till after his presidency. But this this was actually an interesting development just a couple hours ago. Donnie's handpicked Supreme Court, who have ruled with him several times in the past, have come down with a decision that no, Judge Merchant is well within his rights to sentence the president tomorrow, the president-elect tomorrow. So he will have to appear in New York to be sentenced. Any sentencing has to be delayed until the end of his term. But the opinion of the Supreme Court, the three progressive justices and two very conservative justices, Comey Barrett, and Judge Roberts, or I should say Judge Comey Barrett. That's disrespectful. My apologies, Ms. Barrett, Judge Barrett. Both ruled with the minority that this was allowed to stand, that he has plenty of opportunity to appeal within the New York court system, and that's where he needs to appeal. It's not appropriate for the federal judge to rule on it. So
It'll be interesting to see what I don't know. I don't get the feeling he's going to make it through a full term.
I wonder that too. He does not always appear to be in the best of health. We all
Like
know
we're
that his
talking
diet
about-
is chicken nuggets and Coke.
He's starting
Diet
to
Coke.
look visually not well. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah,
The eyes are a bit
developed-
sunken, and like you're not even in your presidency yet. And
And
like
he's
we know
also-
what presidencies do to people.
His shoulders are more rounded than last term.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have the same vitality he had last term. But
Right. Yeah. It seems
you know,
that
he
that
and both
piss
Biden
and
are
vinegar that
pretty getting towards the end of senior citizenship. You know.
yeah, it's just I can't like match them up. I can't match these two versions of him up. It's like he's at the end of his presidency already. Like as I said, we've seen what presidencies do for people. They always have the before and after presidency photos, and people are always looking a bit worse for wear at the end of it. But if this is where we're starting, and the the absolute foolishness that's coming out of his mouth already.
Do you know who looks
With your, it's just like,
also
okay.
looks bad? President Bush. Did you see any of the funeral, Jimmy Carter's funeral today?
No.
President Bush does not look good.
Well, they're getting old, Vera.
They
They're
are.
all
They
very,
are
very
all
old.
old. The President's Club is aging out.
But as Joe said, poor Barack Obama had to get sat next to him.
know. I need to know what they were talking about.
Hasn't he put
Wiring
that man
minds
through
need to
enough?
know. Hmm?
Hasn't he put that man through enough? Now they have to sit next to each other.
Well, unfortunately, this is that part of the pageantry. 44 has to sit next to 45, and
line of
Brock's gonna sit
succession,
next to him forever.
or while they can,
Yeah.
while they can. It's
Yep.
Look, the sound bites are coming thick and fast, and we're not even at
Right.
inauguration day yet. But
I know.
we'll see what
I know.
happens. But
Did
we made
you-
it past. We made it past January 6th, so it's all right.
Democrats
You
don't
know?
throw insurrections. We're the losing party. We don't throw that kind of insurrection. We are very proud of the peaceful transition of power. We
Peaceful.
revere
That's
it.
the ultimate.
That's
That's the underlined word there, isn't it? Peaceful transition.
peaceful transition
of power.
of power. We believe in it. We don't throw
Right.
riots when our team loses.
It's just
Historically proven.
look. I wish I had better news to like go out on, but we'll keep going. Aubrey Plaza's husband, Jeff Vanilla, sadly ended his own life.
I believe it was suicide, wasn't it?
Yeah, suicide. He hung himself, sadly. There's no real good like happy spin to put on that.
No.
But it's again another. Well, there's two of these back to back, but another point that just because someone is famous and married to someone famous and doing their quote unquote dream job doesn't mean that everything is all good and all happy and all that kind of stuff. You have to keep checking in with the people that you love, even if they make it hard,
right?
Because you never know. And it's just that's some sad stuff considering she's riding pretty high at the moment, and then obviously not everyone's perfect. Not everything is perfect in life, and that's some very sad news. Let's talk a little bit about the Golden Globes, though.
Glad to.
Because
that was a fun night.
That was an interesting night, wasn't it? I was.
Did you watch?
Very surprised.
No. Oh.
I was very, very surprised at the winners and the people that got shirked. It was not a popularity contest this year.
Well, the Hollywood foreign correspondents seem to have taken the lesson finally, and unfortunately, it was not Wicked's year.
Yeah, can we talk? Have you seen Emilia Perez?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
It's a weird fucking movie.
Is it as bad as it looks?
It is a weird fucking movie. And somebody on the evening's festivities called it a comedy. It is a musical. There's quite a bit of singing for this very heavy, crime-ridden, corruption-ridden story. So there is quite a bit of singing, but a comedy? I don't know if they came across the way they think it did.
Sometimes singing might be a bit of a loose term as well, from what I've seen.
No, I thought the musical was handled well enough.
There's
there was a really
some
big
questionable
dance
vocals that I heard.
with,
I was like, "Ooh."
Zoe Saldana.
Look, her speech was
Selena
amazing.
Gomez.
Her speech was,
her speech
Zoe
was
Saldana's
still
speech
going
was
on.
amazing. Yeah.
Her speech was long.
And The Brutalist, a movie that I had never heard of, won Drama of the Year.
What's it
heard
about?
a lot about The Brutalist.
What's The Brutalist about?
The Brutalist is a I think he was an escaped prisoner of World War II who came to this country and spent his life designing schools and
interior design
as an architecture. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have heard
The
good
movie
stuff
goes for
about
like
the
3
sequel.
hours or something, doesn't it? It's like a
Is
really
it?
long
Oh
movie.
God, I hate 3-hour movies. I'm getting too old for 2-hour movies. It's like I finally watched Red One, and I'm like 2 hours and 40 minutes for a kids movie.
So did Wicked win anything?
Wicked won this shafted out, made up award for box office smash.
Yeah, that one of the created awards that they they make up. Cinematic
like
and box office achievement is what they won.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yes.
But everybody knows it was a bullshit participation trophy.
Right. The one that surprised me because of the genre for the movie, Demi Moore. For The Substance.
I have not seen that.
I love The Substance. I've watched it.
Did you?
I haven't seen it yet. So you can speak on her performance then.
Oh, her performance is great, but the movie itself is very... Look, it was like watching... It's very much an indie film. Like, it's got some strange concepts. It's very layered, but it's also very clever. I enjoyed the whole thing, and I think Demi Moore's performance was amazing, and Annie McDowell's daughter, whatever her name is, was great as the younger version of her ideal version of herself. It was very, complex, messed up, crazy, but I had a lot of fun with it, so I'm not surprised it won some awards.
Well, you could use all those words for Amelia Perez.
But the most striking thing is, when is the last time any official body has awarded an actress for a horror movie?
Oh, is it a horror movie?
It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's a body horror movie.
I didn't know that. I haven't seen it yet. I probably will watch it, even though it's not my genre.
Vera, are you going to be okay? Someone's going to have to hold Vera's hand.
It's not jump scare horror or anything like that, Vera. It's very story driven.
You'd like it. I will watch.
You'll appreciate the themes.
Horror.
It's
yeah. There's a lot with
her award speech was
ageism.
Her award speech was very touching, actually.
Oh my God, her award speech was one of the best award speeches I've seen, and I watched all the award shows. She teared me up. I thought that's a wonderful speech.
Coming 45 years into her career or something like that, she said.
Right. She
this is the first time she's been awarded.
Well, she talked about how when she was young, and I've watched her career my whole life. She was on my favorite soap opera. That she was told that she was strictly a popcorn actress, that she shouldn't aspire to those roles that win awards, that she's just a pretty face, basically, is what they told her. And she believed them, she said. And she said now that she's reached a certain age, she's realized that she never had to buy into that she could always have rejected what they told her. And she wants every young woman out there anybody who gets otherized or gets labeled and gets told that they don't qualify, to just stand up and say, I'm going to try anyway. It was a really beautiful speech, I thought. Oh, I can't hear you, Steve.
There is something very satisfying about these women that, are past their prime, that are really getting a renaissance. Demi's had it once already when she did the Charlie's Angels sequel. Everyone's like, oh, Demi Moore, but she's getting another renaissance of people going, oh, you've been a lifelong working actress and you've got this body of work that strands back decades. You're not one thing. I still haven't seen The Last Showgirl. The reaction that Pamela Anderson is getting for that movie must be rewarding for her after the career that she's had and the way that she's been perceived. And it's just refreshing, I guess, to see.
Well,
that
let's take a minute
celebrating this kind of thing.
Honor Demi Moore's dress. She looked fucking amazing.
Yeah,
that dress was stellar.
Yeah, she's looking good. Good. But yeah, there was not really. Kieran Culkin's always good. I like anytime he gets up there.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Viola Davis, Cecil B. DeMille Award. Yes, tick.
Yeah, we didn't get that here in the States. They cut that out of the production.
No, and I would have loved to have seen Viola Davis acceptance speech.
Yeah, I would have too. I was kind of pissed that for the first time in 2,500 years that I've been watching the freaking Golden Globes, they didn't make us sit through the Cecil B. DeMille Award. It's like, come on.
What about how do we feel about actually the other really strange thing is we're awarding, well, not really strange, but comic book movie / TV shows, Colin Farrell for The Penguin.
Yeah.
I haven't
think
seen
that's
The
okay.
Penguin.
I'm
Apparently,
okay with that.
You're okay with that? Okay.
I am okay
What about
with
Jodie
that.
Foster though? Everyone seems quite upset with Jodie Foster winning.
What did she win
Certainly
for?
True
Sofia
Detective.
Vergara.
That was funny. Sophia Vergara screaming, "No, no, give me one!" as
That's
Jodie Foster's
mine.
accepting the award.
Give me my award.
No, she won for True Detective.
Yes.
The latest season of True Detective.
It's like the 4th season of True Detective, isn't it? It's been on for a couple of years, but it changes every season, I believe.
Yeah, it's like American Horror Story. It's an anthology kind of crime series.
But
who else? Let's have a look. Anything major? Jeremy Allen White. I think we all expected that. The Bears being.
He didn't even come.
Gene Smart. Yeah, we expected that. Baby Reindeer.
I did not expect Gene Smart to take it. I thought it
Didn't
was
expect Gene Smart.
I did not, because she's won it like 3 times.
She just seems to be the darling, though, doesn't she? That show seems to have it.
And she is a woman of a certain age. You don't want to take that away from her. That she's getting these accolades later in her career, but I thought somebody else would win it.
What about Ted Danson though? For the Carol Burnett Award.
Did you see his last 2 sitcoms have been pretty funny.
I don't know. I don't think I'm a very big Ted Danson fan.
I didn't used to. Well, I loved Cheers, but in his post Cheers years, I was kind of like, yeah. But then he did.
Oh, my dad used to love Becca. Ugh.
Yeah, The Good Place and Man on the Inside, and I love both of those shows.
So he won you over.
He did. He won me back.
An interesting Golden Globes that is going to make the rest of award season more interesting, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, these weren't out and out, favorites, any of these, I don't think, to win those big awards. Well, I think it's
already affected the SAG Awards. Didn't their announcements happen the other day? And there was a few surprises.
Well, we'll see. The awards are going to, well, depending on what's happening, I know that, there's been some delays in announcement and stuff because of the fires. So, again, this is going to slow down that whole economy.
Digital announcement, though, I do think they did release a digital. I think
it was the Emmys that have delayed their announcement.
Yeah. No, the Emmys are usually in September.
Yeah, there's something. One of them, something delayed their announcement because of the fire. I saw it the other day. But that's something else we've got to think of. All of these shows and movies and podcasts and everything that are going to have to pause production now because of loss of whatever.
I turned on Jimmy Kimmel last night because I always watch Jimmy Kimmel monologue, and then I switch over to Steve Colbert's show. And I'm like, I've seen this show. He should be back on. And then I'm like, oh, the fire.
Jamie Lee Curtis is still doing press for her movie. So
yes, she talked about that on Jimmy Fallon last night.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon, sorry.
Yeah,
when she did the scene from the movie she did with John Travolta.
Stayed Alive.
Yeah.
So she's still got a good sense of humor. Jamie does. Yeah.
She is also
someone else.
A certain age.
Yeah, she is, and she redefined her career by taking control of her horror roots. This is how we roll. We like to see it. Someone else that made us laugh that is sadly now gone as well. For the fans of Drag Race and Drag Race UK, the inaugural winner, the Vivian, has passed away over the weekend. Luke, I think we'd know more about this than Vera, but such a talented person. That's
very
32
I don't know.
Is so young.
It's a shock because his career was just going. Like he was performing, he was doing theater.
Yep, musical theater.
Yeah,
Dancing on Ice, all those things that that take you to that next level of fame in the UK. the Vivian was ticking the boxes and appearing on TV shows regularly and stuff, like really starting to make an impact on the culture and, you know, have her name be known. But 32, man, like when you get past that age and people die at that age, you're like, you think about how much you've done since you were 32 and you're like, wow, that's young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very young age to go. And there's been a bit of drama online, of course, with former season 2 winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, Tyra Sanchez, digging a comment from like what 3 years ago that the Vivian made about Tyra and said, "No, this beats the heat of a crematorium." Like, gone
Oh my
back
God.
to, yep, gone back 3 years worth to just stick it to someone who can't reply.
You would
But
think that somebody named Sanchez would not make that kind of otherizing joke.
Tyra has been a problem since the show, but it's historically known that RuPaul very rarely makes public statements on the former queens. On RuPaul's social media, there is a scene, a very famous scene in the show from that run where they stage a fight where she slaps Tyra, and RuPaul has posted that with no context. So that's an official fuck you, I think. Because no matter your problem with people, and no matter, you know, you don't do
There's
that.
no point to take low blows, right? Who's that
Right.
in benefit of?
Oh,
Yeah,
you
no
know,
one.
there are a few people on this planet who, when they go, I may be making jokes and dancing.
It's just like,
Probably not publicly though, right?
and not
can't make no
honest.
promises.
But you wouldn't make a comment on their social media where their family has to see it, and like, you know, Tyra knew.
Time will tell.
Like, there's intent there. But and then we've got today. I came across my TikTok. Silky Nutmeg Ganache, one of the other contestants on one of the millions of series, saying, "Oh, we should be worried about Tyra. We should be trying to help her because hurt people, and this is a cry for help." I'm like, yeah, but there comes a time when people have to help themselves. Like, no one's gonna get help unless they help themselves first. Tyra
is it a cry
has
for
been.
help or is it a cry for attention?
Tyra has been noxious since she won the show. Like,
you know?
Well, she's not included in anyone's circle, really, is she? Which is sad.
no, that should tell you that her behavior is inappropriate.
Right. Should tell her that.
You know? But I guess, you know, there's no accounting for morals and tastes. But
right.
R.I.P. to Vivian. You made me laugh many times. Her impression of Donald Trump, seamless.
It was good.
If only for that, we will miss
Worth
the Viv.
investigating.
You will have to check it out, Vera.
I
She's
will.
very, very, very funny. Fall from grace again for Zachary Ty Bryan from Home Improvement. He was arrested. Well, he was arrested on suspicion of domestic violence. So these are scratches, etc. This is the third time he's been arrested in recent times, though. So he's got that child star thing down.
But what's happened to him? Because I actually saw he was still acting after Home Improvement. He was in like guest roles and stuff. I saw he was on Buffy. He did that Carrie 2 movie. Like, he was working. So what's transpired now to just complete train wreck?
I think it's very much what we talk about. It's mental health issues. So in July of 2023, he was arrested for domestic violence. In February of 2024, he was a DUI felony charge, and now more domestic violence. I mean, it speaks to bigger things going on, right?
Well, child actors have a lot of problems transitioning into adulthood. You know, they are handled just to produce, you know, when they're young, and they are not socialized to be human beings. They're only socialized to be actors. You know what I mean? They don't have that impulse control, that gets beaten out of you in the third grade when the social structure says we don't like you, because you do this.
But also not set up for long-term success either.
No, yeah.
Or life after.
Right. That's kind of what I mean. It's like they're not learning those lessons because they are being specially handled to be in the role and not handled to be an adult. You know what I mean?
We had this conversation. Yeah. Katrina and Daisy and I had this conversation when we were talking about the documentary that Katrina appeared in. That, on these sets, especially sets that are filled with child stars, there should be some onus on the production company or their management to ensure that there is a plan in place for them. Like, no one's fame lasts forever. As part of, you're paying these people, you're paying your representation, you're paying your managers to look after your career. There should be a plan B and a plan C and a plan F and a plan X, because no one's fame lasts forever at the level that it is. People go through highs and lows, and just even the access to mental health. This conversation's come up again since Liam Payne's death, and a lot of former X Factor contestants in the UK are speaking out about it.
Look at the toll that it took on Britney. She was a Disney kid and she was groomed into her pop stardom and not allowed to grow up, and
now she's just spinning around in Mexico.
Now she's just spinning around,
spinning around in Mexico. Isn't it funny that those kids?
If I had disposable income, I'd spin every day too.
Yeah, and let her. She's allowed to. But don't you think it's funny that the kids have re-established their connection with their mother now that they're 18 and they don't get money anymore?
Oh, now Daddy doesn't get child support, right?
Yeah, Daddy doesn't get child support anymore. So Sean Preston has reunited with Britney over Christmas. I wonder why.
Oh, I hope he doesn't hurt her.
Well, they're going. I think that they are, again, products of their father.
Right.
Like, they sided. Like, I understand that she is not mentally well.
Right.
We all understand that. No one's going, Britney Spears is a pillar of mental health. No one's saying that. But, hopefully they mature enough to see that and go, she's my mother.
Yeah.
I should be concerned about. I shouldn't be concerned about how she makes me feel. I should be concerned about why she's feeling this way, why she's acting this way, what's happened to her. But, as a child, you don't. Yeah. As a child, you don't have that cognizance of the world and go, I need to do things to help other people. You won't, it's me. Especially when you're the child of a once in a generation celebrity, let's be honest. That's a very unique world to grow up in. I still remember going to see Britney when she came to Australia, and we were a row back from Sean Preston and Jaden when they brought them out, and they were sitting in the audience. I just remember Sean Preston he had something in his mouth, taking it out of his mouth and just putting it in the security guard's hand. It's just like, they don't know what normal life is. These kids have never known what normal life is. Yeah, I'm just like, they don't know. But, kids do that.
Yeah, they do.
Kids will also do anything. So, speaking about children, this one actually made me a little bit, dramatic and sad. Sesame Street could be coming to an end.
Yes. Not if Flavor Flav can help it.
I know Flavor Flav is on the case, but HBO Max, or whatever we're calling ourselves these days, have pulled further funding for new episodes of Sesame Street. So
it's part of the public
the Warner Brothers downsizing, reimagining, all that shit. Warner Brothers Discovery.
It's also part of public television.
PBS. They've got a distribution thing for the back catalogue, I read into it a little bit more, but because the HBO produced episodes go on first and then PBS get them 9 months later or something like that. There's a delay because so PBS have the back catalog from when they funded it, and
Right.
then they have optioned out their back catalog to other people, but HBO have the exclusivity on the new stuff until they've got a 9-month period, then it goes to PBS. So that's part of the reason why it's making people go, because no one's going to get all the profits.
Right.
You know,
Well,
for a show
Flavor
that's run for
Flav
54 years.
was on the Hill this last week talking to people about saving Sesame Street. And I got to tell you, I didn't like Flavor Flav years ago, but I'm starting to like him a lot now.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not an only child, but I'm the youngest child, so spent a lot of time watching Sesame Street, you know, and it is one of those rare programs that can educate and entertain, but not just, you know, scholastic stuff. It teaches emotions, it teaches empathy, it teaches social problems. It teaches so many things that it would be a real shame to see it go away. I mean, Sesame Street took a huge moment when Elmo, remember when Tickle Me Elmo had his moment, and it was like, it was a thing. We cannot lose Big Bird. Thank you, Christopher.
Well, we nearly lost him in that space launch, right?
Yes, well, in the Challenger, we could have lost Big Bird a while back. But Luke, I think Buffy has lived through another resurgence of Sesame Street. Was she a Sesame Street kid when she was little?
Not so much, no. And it's probably because I've always had a bit of an aversion to Sesame Street. But she was like, she liked Elmo. She knows who everyone is on Sesame Street. And she did have an Elmo doll. So the Tickle Me Elmo, I think she had, actually.
Even if you don't watch the show, these characters have enough social clout that you know who they are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Some kids might not know who Grover is or Guy Smiley, or, depending on how old you are and if you haven't watched it for a long time.
But they'll know Elmo.
Those characters I don't know, but even the human performers, you look at like all of these human performers that have been on those shows for so long, Maria and Luis and all these people that
well, one of my biggest claims to fame is that I danced with Snuffleupagus at a wedding.
Stop it.
I did.
Snuffy.
Was he really there, Vera?
He was really there.
You imagining him.
My friend Mark, the puppeteer, who we interviewed on this show, had many puppeteers at his wedding, and one of them was Snuffleupagus.
Oh.
Yay.
Yeah.
You got to dance with Snuffy.
I did.
All right, I have to ask. Give me your favorite Sesame Street character.
See, that's hard because
that is
there's
hard,
a little
right?
Crossover with the Muppets as well. See, like Kermit was sometimes on Sesame Street. Was he really Sesame Street, or was he more Muppets?
I think Kermit is firmly a Muppet these days.
Yes.
So,
yeah, look, of Sesame Street, I'd just probably have to say Elmo because he was cute. But I did like Cookie Monster because he had Prada Willy and couldn't stop eating.
But you got to think, what about the Count?
I was going to say the Count. You didn't.
No, he was frustrating because he'd say something and then now he has to say the line that all the time. It'd be just painful.
What about Guy Smiley? What about Prairie Dawn? What about Grover?
What about Oscar? Come on.
Oscar the Grouch.
Who does not love Oscar? Who does not love Big Bird?
Was that your favorite one, Vera? Was Oscar?
No, actually, I love the Count. I loved Snuffy. I loved a Big Bird, and it depended on the day. Elmo was later than me.
Bert and Ernie. Come on.
Huh?
Bert and Ernie.
Come on, yeah.
Everyone's first I love that joke.
I
Everyone's like Bert and Ernie at the gay cast.
You guys remember Rubber Ducky?
Rubber ducky,
Ducky,
you're the
you're
one.
the one.
Creepy.
Yeah, cute. But I can't imagine that Disney would let it go begging. If push came to shove,
If
they
push
already
came to
own the
shove,
Muppets.
there's plenty of opportunity for Disney to step in.
I think Disney would love to own
And
Sesame Street.
HBO and Disney, aren't they kind of buddied up right now? Aren't they package dealing?
Who
their
knows
stream service?
who knows what's going on at Warner Discovery? It's a mess over there.
I think they kind of been packaging their streaming services together.
Yeah, it's a hot mess over there. So
My
they're,
faith
like,
is on
cancelling
Flavor
shows.
Flav.
Yeah, but I'm putting the good vibes out there. I think that it can be saved. I think it should be saved. I think that the world's still, especially, well, if today's show and what's going on in the world at the moment, and what's going to go on in the world next 4 years, I think we need people to teach the children that there is always hope for inclusivity and kindness and all of that.
And if they cancel Sesame Street, they have to send Big Bird up in a rocket.
What is your hate for Big Bird? You just want to see
Well,
Big
it's not
Bird
hate,
torch.
but that's just they need to blow him up in space. Then, if they're going to do this and cancel Sesame Street, I don't
Big
want
Bird's a
any
girl.
chance of him coming back.
Big Bird's a female.
No, Big Bird's a
No.
boy.
Big Bird's a
Are you
girl.
sure about that?
Or Big
Really?
Bird's a boy.
I've always read
I think-
man.
I've always
I
read
think Big
man.
Bird is a man. I do.
Well, there you go. Luke's misgendered Big Bird.
Hold on. I'll look at it. I thought Big Bird was female, but let's look.
look.
I'll look. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I've never read female.
I mean, what would we do without
Well-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
8, 9,
11,
10.
12.
Ampidesky, Jekyll, Monoquert, Stu, Vixen.
Yeah, right.
It's the most
Come
remarkable
on.
word I've ever seen.
All right. Is Big Bird a boy or a girl? It's male. Whoops. Okay, sorry. Maybe
I
I
thought
got
he
maybe
was
I got
male.
confused
Yep.
with Tweety, but I got confused with Tweety. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm happy to
It
admit that I
happens.
was wrong.
It's Tweety a
happens.
boy too. I'm on the
Boy.
fence with Tweety.
Tweety's a girl. Tweety's
Tweety
a
is a
girl, right?
girl. Tweety's
Yeah.
a girl.
Okay,
I
I
don't
can
know.
handle
I don't
Tweety
even
being a
know.
girl.
I'm not even going to hazard a
There we
guess.
We don't want to misgender them.
We,
Okay.
we don't need to sexualize.
Don't even
cartoon
start on
characters.
Miss Piggy. The
I
history
know
know
what
there.
Miss
Miss
Piggy
Piggy.
is. She's a
Piggy has made her
100%
pronouns known.
bitch.
Can you do a
All
what's
right,
it
here we
from
go.
for us
I
live on air,
have-
Steve?
I have a view from here for you guys. Here we
You
go.
do.
So, as always, this one comes from
Reddit.
Reddit.
Reddit. Your favorite site.
Asshole thread, because it's just it
The
serves
gift
every
that
time.
keeps giving. Yeah.
It's the gift that keeps giving. All right. Am I the asshole?
Normally,
You ready
yes.
for this one? This one's going to be a bit. Yeah, the answer is yes. Am I the asshole for walking out on a date as soon as I found out that she was a single mum?
Yeah.
So the
You know,
original poster was a
alright.
37-year-old businessman began explaining his situation due to frequent out-of-state business trips. Through, he was,
Right.
his friends tried to set him up, basically, with
Okay.
her friend, who, and he's polyamorous, apparently.
Oh, okay. So he's
well,
already got a
then.
partner.
Yeah, she sent me her friend's number, her friend Emily, 35 for the purpose of this post, and I started texting back and forth for a little bit as a precursor to my next visit. I was upfront about being married and being polyamorous. She was okay with that, barring she could confirm with my wife. Well, hey, that's pretty modern. You know.
Yeah.
Yep. To ensure transparency, his wife joined a three-way call with Emily and the employee to confirm the arrangement. With that sorted, they moved on with the original poster's two main requirements. He says, I clarified my two big requirements must be okay with poly and be child free. Emily said that was reasonable. So they traded pictures. They found each other hot. Yeah. On the day of, we met at the restaurant, and my breath was really taken away by the sight of her. Her pictures didn't do her justice. Good conversation, maybe with a slight awkwardness. Then this is when the bombshell hit. I asked her what her typical weekend looks like. She revealed she spends a lot of it with her kids. She had not mentioned having kids up until this point.
Well,
So, caught off guard, the original poster politely but firmly decided to end the date then and there. He explained, I told her that while I don't have anything against her, I do not date single mums after some previous experience. I also said I'd like to end the date there since there was, I didn't want to give her the wrong impression. So after the date ended, she agreed and then started to send him a barrage of angry texts accusing him of being a misogynist and dismissing the struggles of single mothers. About an hour later, I got some nasty messages. Hating single mothers, not understanding the struggle of a single mom and how life is difficult for single mums. She was then blocked because she started to message his wife as well. So is he the asshole for walking out on that date?
I rescind my original thought.
I think he contributes to a lot of this chaos by just the lifestyle alone. It's always going to be problematic like this because you don't know what you're letting into your relationship. So he's started with her. She didn't check a box for him. I don't know what was she hoping for. Like if someone told me they were polyamorous and that's not what I'm after, I'd be like, I'm already married. I'd be like, cool, catch you later. Like, what kind of world are you hoping to be part of? Like, where are you? Who are you?
You know, it's one thing to be polyamorous. It's another thing to be married. You know, it's not like it's easier to bring a single person into a relationship, you know, than it is to bring a woman with a child into a relationship. And if he was upfront, if he said before he went to the date, childless, and she didn't honor that, then he has a right to end the date.
And I think him being upfront about it, like he may or may not agree with the polyamory situation. You know, that's completely down to each and every other person's personal preference. But I see how hard it is being a parent from people that because I'm not one. Mm-hmm. But it's just as hard being a step parent, or being mum's boyfriend or dad's girlfriend or dad's partner, because in many of those relationships go south, and these people that have grown to love and care for these children never see them again. Their relationship is ended with them without an explanation, without the option.
I think that's wrong.
Yeah, see, so I understand his point of view where like I don't want to get involved in a situation where there's children because that's scarring for kids. That's horrible for them to form these attachments, and then when relationships don't work out, they never see these people again.
Right.
So I think,
having dated a man with children, I agree. You know, he and I were very careful about me meeting his children because he did not want, and then the relationship right after me, he brings this other woman into his children's lives really quickly, and I was crushed by that. Not for me, but for
them.
For them.
Because how do you understand that?
What happened to your ideals? You agreed that this was a bad thing, and all of a sudden she's at your house all the time with your children.
But you've got to understand that they're already dealing with the fact that mum and dad aren't together anymore.
Right.
That relationship, which is so central to a child's life, can fracture and can end.
Mm-hmm.
and then you bring in someone else and take the time and effort and, you know, energy and emotion to make these kids feel safe with you and to let them know that, you know, you're there to help them, to support them, to love them, only for it to disappear. And in the blink of an eye, I understand his reluctance to get involved with someone. And it's not that it's anything against single mothers. It's just, I think it's more to do with someone being truthful.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, take the child out of this equation because the child hasn't met him. He has no relationship with the child, but he was upfront, childless. And as long as he was upfront and she hid the fact that she had a kid, then that makes her responsible.
She's culpable.
Yeah. She's culpable. She's sitting next to Donnie on the witness stand, you know? What's happening? She's culpable.
Culpable.
But again, and Luke, we've had this conversation about you raising your child alone, about going, you know what? Sometimes it isn't about what you need emotionally. You have this child that needs you so much more, and their well-being is more important.
Yep.
And it goes by in an instant.
Look, everyone makes different choices in life as to how they have their boundaries and whatever. Look, I've actively stayed single because I've not wanted any outside interference while my daughter was at these very developmental stages that she needed a lot of my attention. So I didn't think it was correct of me to have a relationship. But if someone else wanted to, when they separate from partners with young children, I see it all the time, they'll get straight into another relationship. Whatever works for you. But I just found that was the boundary I drew for myself and my family was, nope, I'm not involving anyone else until I can be ready for a relationship. And I'm getting there now as life stages change.
Yeah,
you know?
That's what I was about to say, because Vera made a very good point. That window of childhood is so small compared to your life.
Over so quick.
That you know, the kids deserve your attention. We all understand the want and the need to be loved and, you know, to feel supported, but part of parenting is sacrifice, right?
Yep.
To make it, to make sure your kid is, to make sure that your child gets the best experience of you that is as possible. And then you've set them up for the rest of their lives. They know what a healthy relationship looks like because you've set the groundwork. You're not jumping from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend to husband to girlfriend to polyamory, you know? And if that's the lesson you want to teach, then that's fine. But I think that, again, there's a lot to be said for honesty and clarity, even with children.
That's my bottom line. Is he had the boundary established and she ignored it. She was dishonest. That's my bottom line. You know,
there we
the
go.
Rest of it, you know, that's between. I'm not going to harsh anybody else's yum. You know,
we all turned the corner together. We all turned the corners together today. But at the corner, there is the factory that always gives out the opinions. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Vera Vance. Okay.
So funny to hear that vent sound. My radiator exploded this week. This is going to be an unusual little rant here today. It is sparked by the fact that my friend's daughter today posted a tribute to a friend who had passed. And she's very young. She's in her early 30s. And so I assume that her friend was also in his early 30s. And she talked very effusively about their friendship and about the fun they shared and about his creativity and the art that he created when they were friends. And her last line is, "I'm sorry that the healthcare system failed you." And this breaks my heart. So I am about to address this vent to President-elect Donald Trump. Anybody else who's around that's listening can stay here and listen if they want. But if this somehow gets to President Trump, I'll be happy about it. Now, President Trump, I know that you're a very proud man, and it's very important to you that you be remembered as one of the best. And you've had several different things that you'd like to accomplish, like renaming different bodies of water, like taking over new lands and expanding the United States reach around the world. But there is one way that you will win eternal adoration from the American people. You do this one thing, Mr. President-elect, soon to be president, and you will be remembered forever. All of your politics, all of the hookers, all of the grabbed pussies will go away, Mr. President, if you give us health care. Now, we know that you have an ambitious tax plan, that you would like to cut taxes for your rich friends and yourself and your family. And you've been very transparent about that. We can't fault that. You know, we just did talk about honesty. So I would like you to take in mind a couple of statistics. And I'm just going to give you a couple, Mr. President. If you were to establish a universal healthcare system in this country, a study by Yale University and also a different study by your own friends at the Heritage Foundation found that this could save the American people, not just your billionaire buddies, but average Joes, those of us here who do the voting and do the working, it could save us $450 billion. And if all of the Americans were saving $450 billion in total, you could jack up our taxes a little bit and we probably wouldn't say a thing. And we'd still have some extra dollars for the price of eggs that you can't fix now, right? Remember, you told us you were going to fix it. And then you said, oh, I probably can't do anything about it. But you can do this, Mr. President. And I think you should consider it. You do this for the American people, and you will be remembered with great reverence for the rest of this country's existence. I think this is your answer. You talk about repealing Obamacare. If you replace Obamacare completely with a national health care, you got it made, Donnie. We'll name businesses after you. We'll name buildings after you. We'll build bridges. This will be the Donald Trump Bridge. Come on, Donnie. This can be your legacy. Be the president who establishes a national health care system. You got to do it. It makes sense. It fits in your agenda. Though your, insurance bros might be a little pissed, but you can give them guns. Have them insure guns instead of people. And they can do that too. They can make a lot of money because your followers do like the guns. Donnie, do this. It's what you were made for. This is your moment. Give us fucking health care.
All the grabbed pussies will be forgiven. I think that's what we have to end on today, really, right? That's what a nicer sentiment.
Yeah.
Well, Luke, you'll be flying high next week, so we probably won't see you for a little while, but we hope that you have a safe.
You may see me on the next show. We'll see.
We hope that you fly high and defy gravity. We might do the same thing next week, Vera.
Yeah. Okay, babe.
We might defy gravity next week. You'll have to watch and see. Join us on Tuesday/Wednesday. Thank you for joining us today, Vera. Thank you, Luke. I've been Steve. This has been Uncensored Radio. And again, all grabbed pussies will be forgiven.
Oh.
If he gives